friends. We're going to paint in the style of Claude Monet. He lived a long time ago, but people still love his paintings. So here's that picture of him. That's a photograph. We're going to learn how to paint like Claude Monet. So what you're going to need is a piece of watercolor paper. If you don't have that, then another kind of white paper will work. I'm going to use this size, and I'm going to paint mine horizontally, not vertically, but horizontally. This painting is a square painting, but he did many horizontal paintings of landscapes, and sometimes they were this size, sometimes they were the size of a whole wall, enormous. And you're going to need a white crayon. And then if you want a few other blues and greens and maybe blacks or other colors, a few other colors, we're going to paint a water scene with a big green background, and then we're going to add those beautiful water lilies down at the bottom. And you'll need your watercolor paints and, of course, a paintbrush. I have more than one here, and water, and I have a paper towel too handy in case I drip, make a mess. And you'll need a marker or a pencil, whatever you want to use to draw your oval lily pads, and a scissors to cut them out, and some green construction paper. And then last but not least, a glue stick and just 1 or 2 sheets of purple and lavender tissue paper. Whatever you had in your art kit will work fine. So, in Monet's garden, he had beautiful flowers and plants, and he also had a pond with the water lilies growing in it. And going across the pond was a footbridge. So today we are going to draw our footbridge and then paint over it. And you're going to see what happens. So use your white crayon on your white paper. You can't see it now, but the waxy crayon won't let the paint go through to the paper. So it's called resist, and I'm going to show you what that means. So to draw the footbridge, I'm going to draw a big arc that goes across from one side of the pond to the other. So a nice big arc. And the footbridge has a handrail and a safety rail, and then these vertical lines. So I'm going to draw those too. Handrail, safety rail, and vertical lines to hold them up. Okay, I'm finished with this, and now it's time to paint. You can't see the crayon, but I know where I put it. And let's see, I see a lot of blue and green, maybe a little yellow, and of course under the bridge is where the water is. Remember how I said Claude Monet liked to make lots of little dashes of paint? And then they blend together to give it depth and to create the whole scene. Now if I add a little bit of water, see how it changes? Now there's a lot of green background that I'm going to add. Takes a lot of paint. And I'm going to paint mine on a sunny day. I'm adding a little green to the water too because I kind of see that in some spots. And I'm going to add a little bit of sunshine coming through. You know what color blue and yellow make? My yellow keeps turning green because I didn't clean my brush properly. And sometimes those reflections come down through the trees, hit the water, and the light from above shows up on the water. Isn't that pretty? So, I want you to look closely at my painting and tell me if the paint stuck to the crayon. It just blended, or it just resisted, and the crayon came through so you can see my footbridge. I'm gonna let that dry while I draw my lily pad. So a lily pad, when you're looking at it down, it's a round circle. But if you're looking across in the distance, it's an oval. So I'm gonna draw an oval and cut it out. And then I'm gonna pretend I'm cutting a slice of pie. So there's my oval. I'm gonna do a little notch, a little cut here and a little cut here, and it makes a little tiny notch. And that's my lily pad. I might draw a little detail on that lily pad with my crayon to give it more depth, and then I can glue it down here in the water. Okay, I only have one now, but I want to show you what else you can do to give those lily pads even more depth. Get a little bit of tissue, use your fingers to tear it up, and then crunch it up, pinch, 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 into a little tiny tissue paper flower. And you can glue that right with your lily pad. Press it down. And now my lily pad has a flower. So I'm going to keep adding more, and as this dries, I might even use my crayons to add some more detail to the background over here and over here. Here's another one I did. Look, I even draw a swirl of water where a fish came up and got a gulp of air, or maybe a little bug. There's the bridge. I used my crayons to draw some more trees over here in the background, and I have more lily pads. So friends, have fun making your garden at Giverny in the style of Monet, with lily pads and a bridge. Have fun with that.